still doesn't look straight. Why can't I get it to straight today? I think I'm in a wonky mood. My camera doesn't want to be straight. I hope now I've made it happen. Hello. Let's try again. Hello there and welcome to Yarnchix podcast episode 59. My name is Mimi. I come to you from Berlin, which is where I live with my family. I have 3 children and 2 kittens, and my partner and me have settled in Berlin-Wedding, which is in the north of the city. Today it was blue skies before. I recorded something already and now it's a bit overcast, so the light might be changing. I live on a very busy street, so you will hear some traffic, potentially also some sirens. You've been warned. I'm very happy. I've carved out a bit of time to record my podcast. I'm going to share about my knitting. I'm going to share about finished objects and some works in progress. I'm going to share about mending. I might have a little Swatch story, and there's always a knit reportage with my podcast, as well as a tarot knit oracle. I'm excited. I haven't thought of a question yet, and I will be thinking of it on the spot. I've decided it'll be a spontaneous tarot knit oracle. Maybe I'll come across the question whilst chatting to you in form of this camera. Yeah, there's a little giveaway because my next episode is episode 60, and I mean that's a big one. A friend and amazing yarn dyer has sent me some yarn. There is some Ovis etc. mini skeins, and I will be showing them to you and chatting about ways to host this giveaway here. Welcome to this corner of YouTube, which is the Yarnchix podcast. I have just shown you a little intro, which is visual. I always try and show bits and bobs you might have seen me talk about, so you have a bit of a visual overview as well. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to editing. I like editing. You will see, or you might know. Yeah, let's begin with finished object. And number 1, my absolute long-term and favorite project I have been working on. And the back. So this is the Penguano, a pattern by Stephen West Knits. I started as the Penguano, and then I kind of increased the size and made it a penguono. So we have a stash celebrating amazingly colored 80s shaped, like, you know, wide shoulders and big back detailed wraparound vest. Because I added a button to the inside and I made a little I-cord loop when I did the I-cord cast off for the inside. And then I added these two I-cords to the outside so that I could wear it as such. Like a little wraparound vest. And it's very fitted and I love the colors. And I'm so glad I made it and that I haven't gifted it. Sometimes we start making like children's things or something that we decide is a present for like a 3-year-old that lives far away but is very dear to me. And then you kind of start falling in love with all the colors you've added. And especially when I knit this front with all these kind of purples and neons and yellows, I was like, is this ever gonna be worn by the recipient of the present, or will I be wearing it much more, and therefore will the work will be like worthwhile more if I make it myself for myself. So I ended up doing that. Ended up kind of re-increasing the size. I knew it would be a nice cropped penguono, and I didn't want the sleeves, so I kind of, when it's this part of the project where you make the sleeve, I kind of just stopped. Instead of increasing and knitting in the round, I cast off. I did that on both sides. And what else is there to say? Yeah, if I want to wear it like a vest that's open, I can untie the I-cord, and because I have a little like buttonhole thing happening here, it's kind of more of an accident than a planned buttonhole, but I can pull the I-cord in through this hole, like, and then the I-cord is in on the inside. And I can undo this button because this I-cord is quite long. I would kind of loop it and make a little loop, and then I can wear it as an open vest. It's a multiply color joy hug. I knit it myself. Multiply wearable. No. It's wearable in many different ways, and it's a hug for myself. I absolutely love it. I used only stash and some like gifted yarns. Mainly when I set out to make this project, I wanted to use Beroa, which is a Rosa Puma yarn that I absolutely love because it's like an unspun or only ever so lightly spun yarn, which makes the garment much less heavy. It's more of a warm wool, so I don't find it scratchy, but others might say it's scratchy. It blooms when it gets wet, so you knit with it and then you wash your project and it kind of goes woof and kind of fluffs out into all the gaps. Pardon me. Still, because of the way Stephen West writes this, it's kind of fun to marl, and I try to stick to lighter yarns, as in woolly yarns, or like holding maybe mohair double with a fingering weight, just so as not to make it a heavy thing, because I knitted the penguono in my size and I really enjoyed the color play. I really like put a lot of effort and thought into it, knitted at a quite tight gauge because I preferred that, and now I have this really heavy cardigan coat with this weird in-between length sleeve that I just look at. I don't wear it. So when I set out to make this version, I was like, I'm gonna make it wearable. I'm gonna make it so I like to wear it. And I haven't weighed it. Maybe I'll weigh it after the thing, and I'll put the grams here so you can tell what I mean with it being like quite wearable, as in not like a coat that weighs like a backpack, and you don't want to have that as your outfit, really. Like a coat that wears as much as a backpack, it'll be tiresome to wear it. I especially love this color combination of the Zuri, which is like a Hinterhaus, the Baby Zuri silk blend from Cardigan, and the colorway is called Hinterhaus. I really love its effect, and I had some Sokosho, which is a cashmere merino, and I finished this, and then it wasn't quite wide enough, and I was like, am I gonna buy more of this? And I ended up using the Berua in this dusty red for pre-I-cord cast off, which is entirely Berua. And I'm kind of glad I did that. At the time I was like, I really love this, and there's other projects that I've now purchased that yarn for and then knitted this combination exactly for like smaller, like balaclavas. So there is projects like that, but I made this as part of the Von Herzen Crafts and Fibers mystery knit along. I think it was like a make knit along. So I'm gonna put the hashtag here, and it was so much fun, and the incentive was to only use stash. So I used these yarns that I had and didn't buy additionally, so that was good. I'd bought the Berua a long time ago for this project, and I'd made the Penguano back a long time ago. I think maybe a year and a half ago as part of the Magic 3 Mile. I had knitted on that, and I put it aside for at least a year. So it was good to crack out this whip, this work in progress, and to finish it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to add a bit of film from my first photo shoot wearing this after blocking it as a little fade out of this really proud finished object maker. next up, and you would have had a little bit of fade over because I also filmed a bit of this. This is a finished object. It's called the Fest West, and it is a design by Amber Green, and I absolutely loved it. I used all my stashvent yarns, a little bit of added Christmas special, and I've spoken about it a lot, and you would have seen it grown throughout Vlogmas, and I absolutely adore it. It's stripy, it's colourful, and it's a reminder that, you know, leftovers are magic. Our stashvent swap is an annual swap for a countdown calendar for the December month. We kind of open up sign-ups in September, and then people register to create a personalized countdown calendar made entirely from stash. So magic stash skeins that you've wound a mini of 10 grams off, or leftover yarns that you've wound minis from. Maybe you'd purchased like a mini set throughout the year and there's one color that was just not you, so we put all of this aside. Or come November, when we craft these countdown calendars, we create mini skeins from stash, and then we send it to someone, and we would have read their questionnaire, so we understand what they plan to do, what their color dreams are, what they might, you know, prefer in fiber, or what kind of project they have in mind. And then we create a personalized calendar, and this came from the personalized calendar Francie made for me. I'm the luckiest, especially because I got this on day one. I got this really red Shetland merino blend, and I held a double, added some more hair to kind of bulk it out to become DK weight. And, you know, I was here, and then I was worried because I wanted to use it for all the ribbings. And then day 18, Fancy had added another skein of exactly the same color, and I was like, oh my god, I'm the luckiest. So lucky. I was like worried I'd lose a game of Yarnchix, and then my friend pulled through and provided me with enough yarn for all the ribbing. And I finished. I wore this New Year's Eve, which was the plan. Amazing. I was highly inspired by Janine, who's Janine Kamine, and the dyer behind UP Yarns, who has joined me from year one of stashvent, and made this last year. So from stashvent 2021, Janine had made a Fest Vest, and I adored it so much that I just went and bought the pattern and made this. Oh yeah, the buttons were also like leftovers, but they were at work. So I bought them. They're wooden buttons. I kind of like how they're mixed, and we had like one each of all the colors, and nobody had bought the last one. And I was like, oh, now I can buy them all to finish the vest. I wear this tons. I wore it on my birthday. I kind of feel like putting it on over this cardigan. Let's see if this works. It works. Maybe I should wear it like this sometimes. Can I go? Ooh, look, I'm like doing this power stance for you in my Fest West. I ended up buying our Vollen special colorway that Nora of Kidscan dyes every Christmas. There's a special sock set with a mini and a main, and I ended up buying it to add in. It's in here, and it's somewhere here at the bottom, like day 3, and I was like, I've got to buy one, I've got to buy one. So I did end up purchasing something and adding it in, but it had glitter in it. It was like Stellina magic, and yeah, I was like, I was softened by the beauty of it. I sometimes do that. I just go, I need to, like, okay, I'm purchasing yarn. side effect of working in a local yarn store is that you do sometimes leave some of your wages there. This is like the second finished object, and there is a whole lot more. Like I have this stack of balaclavas that I finished in January. I've caught like a balaclava fever. I've been casting on and off, and I recorded a little extra vlog which is like a review of these 4 balaclavas that I knitted. Like I kind of take you through the stories of all of them and give you a little bit of try and give feedback of what I think and what I can recommend. So you can tune into that. It will come to my channel next week. So early March I will talk about that, because this would be so much for this podcast. So I decided to put that to the side and make it a balaclava vlog. Make it a special. And there might be a second one coming because I've cast on 3 new ones. Oh my God. I'm a bit crazy. And this will bring us to works in progress. Where did I put my... Okay, there is 2 works in progress that I have brought today. There's a couple of more works in progress, and it was really good because I'm taking part in February by Cecilia, or Creative Sissy, who has started the February challenge. And I'm taking part in that, and I had to kind of double check my whips as part of like one of the daily prompts, and it was really good to go, oh God, yeah, I have all of this stuff, I should be working on that. Today I've brought you the modular knit pattern. It is something that I have started in December, so it's kind of in the Vlogmas as well. But I found it really hard to focus on. Actually, I put it aside for a month, to be honest. Both first because I ran out of this rose color snefnook yarn, which I ordered in from Milas because we'd run out of it at my work, where I usually buy the snefnook because my child really likes the fluffy texture of snefnook, which is a Camarose yarn, and it's like one of those technically produced yarns where they have like you have like a tube, and it's fluffed up with wool and alpaca fibers, so it's very light, and yet it's very warm and fluffy, and it doesn't scratch. Not my child anyway, she loves it. So a lot of this is actually that yarn, and this is part of the back panel where I decided I would, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna knit all the squares on or in with each other, like attach whilst knitting, but it's actually doing my head in because I've got lots of like wobbly mistakes. Don't look too closely. I've got wobbly mistakes that I don't like, and I'm a perfectionist, so I'm like, oh, but it's the back, so I'm gonna leave it like that. And after I finish this central back panel of this modular cardigan, I'm now starting to knit in stripes. Oh, sorry, it's the back of it. So I'm making this is also part of the back, and then this 1, 2, 3, 4th square has the decreases for the shoulder seam, so it's kind of like slightly slanted, and I've got to make, so that is here, and then I've got to make another one of those panels for the back on this side, and I hope by making it like this kind of scarf-like shape, just kind of square behind square behind square, and then seaming it to whatever I've made now, that I give myself an easier task. I don't like seamed garments, but I feel like this is what I'll have to do to finish this one. I have a deadline. It's someone's birthday, and this child is getting a ticket for a Harry Styles concert for her birthday. She already knows because she asked for it for Christmas and her birthday, and she better. It's pricey because I'm going along as well. I'm excited. It's going to be so much fun. But yeah, I want to finish this Cardigan because I know she'll appreciate having it on her birthday, and it's still slightly cold, so maybe it'll be worn this year. Yeah, so I'm on a good path to finish the back panel, and I made a drawing because I've interchanged all the colors. In the original you have all these like primary colors. It's the Harry Styles cardigan that Harry Styles bought of J.W. Anderson, and it was kind of like a hype in our shop. So many people were like coming in to buy the yarn. They're all buying this really heavy duty cotton because that's what J.W. Anderson said was used, and it's like, oh my god, like it was so hard, like biting my tongue, like it would be better if you use something like a fluffy light wool because it's gonna be so heavy. And it's like, no, it's gotta be cotton. Ah. So I've read the pattern and I'm trying to knit this cardigan following this pattern. I find it super hard. What I made for myself is like I made like a drawing, and I interchanged the colors. So I gave myself like a little list so that I know what stitch pattern is used in which color. So this is the back panel. I'm omitting one because I'm making a preteen size, so I realized I don't need it all that wide, so I can spare that. Next up, I've got to do 2 sleeves, yeah, and 2 fronts. So 4 more bits, and I've got 2 weeks. So you can watch this space. In podcast episode 60, you will find out whether I managed or whether I failed. Because part of like the question or the answer of that question, parts of it is like how much dedication and joy I feel making it. Because I've distracted myself with the balaclavas mainly because I find it hard to focus on this project. Admitted. I've admitted it. My child also knows, but she keeps asking like, are you working on it? And I'm like, yeah, I've got the back. I'm like, yeah, almost got the back, but yeah. Then next up, the sleeves, which I hope to finish before the weekend. And then I've got 2 weekends for the fronts and all the finishing, because it's a cardigan that has 2 flappy bits. Like a collared cardigan, and then the button band is a completely different gauge, which would be fun, and it will be a new color in this kind of primary color version that Harry Styles wears. It's this really cool sky blue, which goes well. So I wonder what my child will choose. We're in close conversation and we'll work it out. Maybe a turquoise, and yeah, it's actually like all of this bag is the yarn for it. It's like very material, and you know, this is my project, which normally lives in a project bag, but I'm gonna just stuff it on top, and then it is a big project. I love my child. I'm making this. I'm like, am I gonna make it in 2 weeks? We'll see. We'll see. The second work in progress I've brought is something that I'm having a lot of fun making, but again I've halted at a place when I became infatuated with balaclava knitting. I stopped at this point where I have actually got to add some character, as in it's time to add the eyeballs for this. My truffle pig, look at it. I'm using Beroa, a rosa pommard yarn, and I'm knitting this. It's the Truffle. It's Truffle, the pig, a pattern by Sophie Scott from the minipom. I'm gonna get the book to show you. This is the minipom publication by Pom Pom Press, all dedicated to small patterns, well, garments and things for small people. And I'm making Truffle, and I'm using this Beroa yarn. I love this label. I really love Beroa, and I really love this label. And that's how I feel like, you know, tucking my kids under my wing. This is like a little lamb tucked in with shepherdess or shepherd. And yeah, I'm excited to continue. It's always a point where I'm like, it's like intake of breath break time, because this is like important. I'm gonna add the character to this face, and I've also not worked out where's the top and where's the bottom. The increases are different, so I've got to work that out. Then I'm gonna add the eyes, and I already got safety eyes. I'm gonna use those, and I'm gonna cut out like a little felt surrounding around it, which is what I did with Otso, and I think it adds this really nice kind of eyelash character. Then I will knit the decreases, like stuff it, knit the decreases, and it'll have like a little curly tail. And then I've got to make 4 legs. And then I have a Truffle pig. Probably Truffle will get a name. I don't think I'm making it to gift to my child. I think I'm making it to have here as one of my sofa friends. And yeah, it lives in this bag, and I just found lots of nice things in here, which, I haven't touched the bag. It's got my to keep cable on. It's got my headphones. It's got more kid scan. This is the Cotty colorway. And a little bit of this Rustica. So more yarns, and this is the Beroa. So this is the yarn I'm using. It's got these kind of dark brown marls like at it. It's like they kind of add it at random moments to the spinning process. So it looks like a pig, like a scruffled in the mud kind of piggy. I love pigs, so this will be fun to make. Lives in one of my lovely project bags someone made for me with this cool pin. And yeah, I also found my needle case in there, which says Mimi. It's made for me by my friend Zara. I love this. So, it's like I haven't touched this project in like 6 weeks, so it's nice to get that out to report about to you. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is some mending. So up at the top of my mending pile is the Dragoni sweater. This was a secondhand find that I filmed during Vlogmas. I went to for a meal with a friend. There was a secondhand, so I filmed it. It's even like a little reel on my Instagram. Oh my god, I documented. And yeah, my teenager loves it. It was like an early Christmas present because I couldn't contain myself. It's for them. It's perfect. And I've already mended these like dragon. There's a part here at the top of this color work. So if this way around, in this row, there's like a part where some of the floats have all torn, and I think it's to do with the fact that it's only several stitches of green and a lot of grey, and some of those, it's like a machine colour work knit. I mean, look at the label. It's vintage, all right. It's like 80s. An 80s colourwork sweater. Love it. Very soft and fluffy. But this other sleeve, and I've kind of partially fixed it already with the grey. It has like this side, and then here I've also mended a little bit with the grey just to kind of hold it all together, because my child doesn't want me to take out this red. Yeah, he doesn't want me to take out this red, because I was like, this is so long for you, so I could take out this red and then kind of, what do you call it? That stitch. Oh God. Mit Katzenstich in. So I could knit, you know, I could have it both on live needles and kind of, my brain. I'm trying to say darn, but you know when the socks are finished and then you do the front bit, that bit, oh my God, you all know it. You're all like shouting at me and I'm like, I can't hear you. Oh. That's a really weird English term. That's sometimes what my German brain does. It's like it omits this English word that I know and I use a lot. And it's not darning. And it just kind of overwrites it with the German word. And I just can't come to find the term. Kitchener stitch? It's like Kitchener stitch it. But there's another way of describing that actual action. But I could kind of Kitchener this bit to that bit. But no, it has to be red. And now I've got my, this is my mending pouch. I really love it. I treated myself to this. Or did someone gift it to me? No, I bought it myself, I think. I'm sorry if I forgot. And I treated myself to this. Yeah, and I found this red, which is pretty close, and it's like a darning thread for fixing socks and things, so I'm gonna try and duplicate stitch this area. But like I said, my child has been wearing this. They absolutely love it. It's like worn. And it's torn in new places. So this is like a mending thing that has to happen. So that's on that side. On the other side, oh wonder, there's like no holes. Okay, so I just need to do that one thing. So that is my mending for this week. And I mean, it's due. I've done all the grey mends, but this like is what I need to do on this really cool secondhand sweater. Will I succeed? Double knit stitch, and yeah, I've not done that yet. I have really cool mending books that can take me through the process, and like I will have guidance, but I have not yet successfully tried this technique. So I will do this, like not a knitted patch, but as in like knit into the holes and recreate the shape. I think it's with sewing. You kind of sew it, but create knit stitches through sewing. I will do that to mend that. And I think this week's knit reportage will be a swatch story, a kind of visual swatch story to do all to do with making a first attempt at a log cabin square, which I will make into a balaclava, which will potentially be recorded into like the balaclava vlog number 2. Yeah, so watch the space for the Tarot Knit Oracle. I'll let you know the question and the theme for the Tarot Knit Oracle as I film it. I'm super happy I got to sit with you, and my birthday flowers are here. And I thank you all for your lovely birthday wishes and being here and kind of, I don't know, visiting me here. I had a birthday chai. My sister and partner gave me a new chai, which was lovely. I had that throughout the recording. And yeah, I love chatting to you, showing you all my work in progress and my finished objects. I hope you're well, and I hope you've had time to craft a little bit alongside me. Let me know if you have any questions for my projects. And now, the giveaway. Oh my god, I almost forgot. Let me get the yarn. I only remembered the giveaway when I said, let me know if you have any questions, because I've had an idea for the giveaway. So what can you win? I ordered a set of mini skeins from Ovis Etc. Just Saskia. Look at this cool label and look at this mini skein set. And she sent me one that I've already thinned out during stashvent. But you can win this set of minis by Ovis Etc. with a comment. I'm going to host a giveaway here in my podcast, and all your comments down below this episode qualify. And I would really like you to ask me some questions, because in March I want to record a Q&A episode for the podcast. So you will have like the March podcast, but I want to do like a special vlog, a bit like my balaclava vlog. I want to add some content where I just answer questions. If you have any questions about any of the projects I showed today, about where I live, about, well, if you have a question for the Tarot Knit Oracle, like any question, please comment with it for my Q&A podcast. And then I will draw a winner for podcast episode 60, which is coming up in March, which is in 3 days. It's already March. So I will then draw a winner and send this to you wherever you are in the world. I think Canada is not allowed to, I think in Canada you're not allowed to do this because it's considered gambling. I'm sorry. Making you gamble. But isn't this lovely? I so love Ovis Etc. yarns, and these are all, they're fingering and sport weight, and it's different natural bases, non-superwash yarns, and it's hand dyed with acid dyes, and they're certified organic. I'm going to put this on the table and record my Tarot Knit Oracle, and I'm excited to read your questions, your comments. Join in if you feel like winning a set of mini skeins by Ovis Etc. And again, wishing you a great day. Thank you for joining me today. Bye!